Hey, welcome back to live stream about my best ideas to get you started with gut health. This is our third live stream in the series, and we're going to talk about this one with more of the setup. And this one's going to be in regards to what I see as a health and vision statement. And then I'm also going to talk about holistic nutrition and wellness assessment. And I see these as the core foundation, as a baseline, both as your understanding, your perception of your own health and wellness, and then as like measurements like of where we are and then where we're going, which I talked about in the last video. I talked about the vision and so the 30-day recipes that I would share with you that we customize. So in this video, before we get started, let me give you another quick gut tip. This is a great one that you can use. So it's in regards to the question, how many meals should you be eating a day? And I think the question is less is better. And the answer with that is when you eat, you actually cause inflammation in your body, regardless of how well the foods are. There is some inflammation created. And if it's like processed foods, artificial foods, for instance, and probably don't do that, but if you do, it doesn't matter, that would cause a lot of inflammation. And the deal is that it's also causing an inability for your gut to repair and reset itself. If it's constantly inflamed and it's constantly releasing digestive enzymes and it's constantly working to release the bile enzymes and all these different processes, it doesn't get a chance to repair itself. And that is crucial. And I think that's a missed basic fundamental. So, what does this mean in terms of your practice of eating? Is you can't snack all the time. If you're on the couch and you have breakfast and then you snack and you have lunch and then you snack every hour and then you have dinner, you have left no room in your day, in your waking day of eating for your gut to reset itself. And hopefully you have a long night, but it has to get a chance to repair itself. If you develop leaky gut, you're going to have chronic inflammation and have a propensity to disease and other problems, low immunity, all sorts of issues. We'll get into them. I like to talk about this, but the idea here is that you want less inflammation and you want a chance for your gut to reset. So how do I use? I do 2 meals plus a snack or 3 meals plus a snack a day, and I try to leave several hours between meals for that very reason. Thanks again. Let's get started. Okay, so what do I mean when I say health, nutrition, and wellness assessment? Well, it's pretty comprehensive. It's nothing that I saw in my doctor's office. And I think this is a great tool. It's like a 360-degree tool that I use to help you become aware and learn about your body, your relationship with food, and why it matters. And so we start out with some personal information. We get the physical measurements. I think that's important. We go through the BMI. That's not always relevant. It's related to your athletic build, but it's more suspect when you're looking at obesity. But more importantly, that is just some generic details. It's going to be how you feel. It's how you feel about your body and what changes you're making about your body and how strong you are and how you feel. You're not achy. You feel well rested. Your energy feels clear. It feels sustained. You don't have brain fog. So we'll go through your health history. I think it's very important, although I'm not going to work with you as a doctor to understand your health problems. They impact your food, your nutrients, and how you see it, how you view your life. So let's get. Do you have thyroid disorders? Do you have proper surgery? Have you had issues with your intestinal tract in terms of a medical issue? And then we'll go through your nutritional history. I really want to see a food journal. A week is good. A month is great. Every single thing and how much the quantities are. I can put it in. I can see what your nutritional deficiencies are, at least from the intake, and then we'll talk about what your body's doing with it as well. I don't do lab testing. We can have a discussion about it. I don't believe in it as a beginner in getting started. I do believe it in other aspects, but not in this capacity. So we'll go through a complete nutritional history, looking at, have you worked with a nutritionist before? What have they done for you? What have they recommended? What restrictions have you put on yourself? What diets have you tried? What has worked? What hasn't worked? And in what ways? What's your biggest challenge with food, nutrition? Let's talk about your appetite. What is a craving? What is a hunger pain? Uh, how do you choose your foods? What are your favorite foods? What are your goals with your foods? Let's break down what portions of protein, carbohydrates, and fats you're doing every day. Let's talk about some lifestyle and hydration habits. This is often overlooked. Do you smoke, drink, or use drugs? That's irrelevant. It's more like it's relevant, but it needs to be much more detailed than that. And then what are your hydration habits? Just because you drink water doesn't mean you're hydrated. And we'll talk about the importance of that. Uh, and then this is where the holistic aspect comes in. And I don't think that your doctor or a nutritional uh, program would talk about this is what are your emotions around food? I don't want to become a psychotherapist, but we will talk about it. And in my 180-day premium program, I think this is really a can that it gets opened and will transform your life. I've worked with this person, it transformed my life, and it gets into the emotional aspects in your deep core beliefs. There's a lot of inner work, inner questioning. It's fantastic. But I will just scratch the surface here and we'll start to talk about how your emotions are bent and rolled and wrapped around food. And then, of course, physical activity. And I put so much emphasis in this, just too much for this course. But I've worked with an elite fitness trainer now for 15 months, and I can't recommend them more than enough. And in my premier program, I get you connected with them so they can show you truly unbelievably changes and regimens to change your body with in terms of the fitness, in terms of the mobility, the strength, the conditioning, the hormones. It's absolutely transformational. Again, it's in my premium program. We'll talk about that later. But in this program, I talk to you about about your exercise, about your movement, what your goals are there, and how it contributes and relates to your food. It's all interrelated. That's why I think the gut health is so important. There's not a single aspect of your life that the gut health does not relate to. And then once we talk about this, once I see this, we're going to have a discussion, come up with some of your top goals and get excited. And then we're going to see where we're going. We're going to come up with top goals and we're going to make a routine to get you there. So I can't be more excited. Thank you for following me along. That's kind of the setup of how I approach it because you have to know where you are. You have to open your mind to all these different aspects of what food is. And I want you to be a good learner. If you want to get the most out of this course, like I did, I assumed I knew nothing. I knew nothing. So just let's start over. There may be things I already know, but I'm sure there's some things I don't know. And by listening to everything, I have a chance to grow, a chance to learn, a chance to go to 0 to 1, and a chance to change my life. I wish you all the best. I'll see you next time. And next time, we're going to go over the exact foundations of my nutritional program. We're going to go through it week by week and talk about what I want you to learn and what I want you to know. Thanks again. Have a great day. See you next time.